Member Findai.
Thank you very much, Deputy Speaker. Or Speaker.
Move the motion.
I move that the motion relating to regional development policy in the terms in which it appears on the notice paper.
And the member for Indi has the call.
Colleagues, it gives me great pleasure today to move this motion on policy around population and the future for regional Australia. We've recently heard the Prime Minister tell us that he's now got a new generation of leadership. So my call out to the government is let's have a new generation of leadership around regional development and the policy that goes with regional development. Recently, the Parliament presented a report called Regions at the Ready, and I have to say I was part of that inquiry, and I'm really proud of this report and the recommendations in it, and I'll refer back to it. But we are at the ready. The regions are at the ready. They're ready to grow. They're ready to do the heavy lifting that's needed to, over the next 100 years, make Australia the wonderful place it is. Communities at the ready, Deputy Speaker. My communities are organised. We've got a growing population, we've got growing businesses, we've got people moving to the regions, and we're really keen to grasp and to create for the whole of Australia the wonderful opportunity that we know we've got in the regions. In my electorate, we've got the Hume RDA, Regional Development Australia organisation, and they're coming up to Parliament later on this week to talk to government about all the plans they've got for their long-term strategic approach to not only North East Victoria but southern New South Wales. So my community's at the ready. But what we're missing is government. Where is government when you need them? So today, calling out on the government, would you please respond in a very timely way to our report to tell us what you think about how population, which is very important, is going to be integrated to all the other things that we know we need in rural and regional Australia. We're going to be talking about infrastructure and how important that is. But what we really need is an approach that actually is inclusive. So the answer is not just to send population, people, immigrants to the country. That is part of the solution, but what we learned when we did Regions at the Ready is we need an integrated strategy for how that's going to happen. And our report developed some very important principles. But one of the most important pieces of work we did as part of that regional inquiry was to talk about our comprehensive green and white paper process that would result in a report to government on how population would fit into the whole infrastructure of Australia. So I just want to read into Hansard one of the recommendations for this report and why I think I want the government just to pay some attention before it makes its announcement about population, just to hold steady for a bit and say, well, how's that approach to population actually going to fit in to what we need the regions to do? So I would ask that they consider the skilled migration program, and there are things that we could do about that to actually make it work better. We need to talk about education and training and skills development. We need to talk about the completion of Year 12 and then the transition to TAFE or university. Now, in my own electorate of Indi, those numbers are really poor. We have very, very few people taking up higher education, and we really need to do something about it. So we need to link into what's the regional higher education strategy that's going to give us opportunities for the people who move in the country to actually get the training they need. We need to talk about really effective communications such that the mobile phones, the NBNs work. We need to talk about public transport, high-speed rail and rail infrastructure that really works. We need to talk about the role of amenity and social infrastructure, culture and community capital to support the lifestyle of our communities. We need to actually include incentives and strategies to increase private sector investment in the regions. And we really need to pay attention to local government. I've got 9 local governments in my electorate of Indi, and they are at the coalface, but they're under-resourced with finance. They're under-resourced with the people and the resources they need to do the high-level planning that's involved in bringing a region to its potential. So they need resources. But more than anything else, the Commonwealth Government really needs to play close attention to the knowledge, the experience and the skill of local government. So we need to vertically integrate local government, state government and the Commonwealth government so they're all working together so that we put population and the people who want to go and live in the regions into places where they're going to be welcome and where there's the capacity, ability to grow. So my call out today is, sure, we need to think about population, but what we really need is a strategic approach to how the regions are going to grow and then how population and particularly migrant and skilled-based people who come to the regions have got the resources they need.
I thank the member for